So I'm walking through the kitchen one day and I look down at the oven door and I realize it's a mess. It probably hasn't been touched since it was installed 6 years ago, and it is just caked on with grease and stuff on the glass. So I looked online, decided to try a homemade recipe of baking soda and water, mixed it up, made a paste, spread it on, left it for 24 hours. It made a big mess. It was very chalky when I scraped it off, and hardly anything came off. And after I was able to clean it properly with like Windex and stuff and get it clean, still very little came off. So the next one was applying baking soda and vinegar directly to the glass. So I sprinkled on the baking soda, sprayed on the vinegar. It bubbled up, and you could kind of tell it was working. So I let it set overnight, and it was really working in there to cut the grease. And when I came back the next morning and started scraping it off, I was actually surprised that some of it was coming off a little bit easier, and you can kind of see the clean glass spaces in between that grease, but still nothing what I had hoped after reading some reviews online of baking soda and water. So I tested out about a half dozen other products before finally landing on Easy Off fume-free oven cleaner. This stuff you just spray on, it makes very little mess, no fumes. You can leave it on overnight, you can spray it on your door and just close the door, and you don't have to worry about it running down the door or dripping onto your floor. Now this was the first application. I was able to scrape off about 90% of the first treatment, which is remarkable. You can see that pretty much, I mean, it came right off. So I decided to try it again. So I went back and let it put on a second treatment and let it set overnight. This is the second treatment. I was able to scrape off probably 98% of that baked on grease from 6 years. I've never cleaned the oven. But this Easy Off cleaner, it's just as advertised. I was able to easily just scrape away the stuff, the built up grease and gunk that was on the glass, and it came off very, very easily. Very little effort on my part. All you need is a scraper. So like I said, I used a half a dozen different products, some more than others. I used the vinegar, the Dawn, the grease cutter, the baking soda, but Easy Off just was the one that did the trick for this issue, and a scraper and some paper towels and a little bit of Windex. But now, as you can see, wow. Even my daughter came over and was like,
"Wow, that glass is clean."
So you can look right in, you can see your food cooking now. If you're baking a cake or muffins or whatever, you can see it working. I've still got a little bit of stuff there to clean, but minimal compared to what it was. So hopefully this review has been helpful.